Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Tiff from Journal with Tiff, and today I'm going to be going over the pens that I currently have inked for the month of August. I've already got my layout set up, and I don't always have the same layout. I like to kind of switch it up and do things a little differently some months. What I decided to do this month is to basically swatch the ink. I'm going to have six, kind of, sort of, you'll see 6 pens inked. But instead of having a separate spread for my review at the end of the month, then I will have space to go ahead and document my thoughts for each pen this month. Previously, I would have a page for currently inked and then another spread where I documented my thoughts. And I noticed last month I kind of flipped back to the currently inked page to see the swatch to compare it to the writing, simply because I feel like, you want to see what the ink swatch looks like because it can definitely look different from the writing. So now it'll all be on one page, at least for this month. So let's go ahead and get started. The first pen that I have inked this month is my TWSBI Diamond 580. And this has a silver trim, and this has a fine nib. And I have it inked with Pilot Iroshizuku Yamabudo. And I'm going to be doing my swatch first. If I can, oh crap. I'm going to get ink everywhere. I knew that was going to happen. I'm going to be doing my swatch with my, this is my steel Kakamori dip nib. I love this color. I normally don't do bright colors. However, let me see. Do I want to put a line here? I don't think I need to. This is not a new pen day, so I don't necessarily need to do that. Let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the pen and ink at the top, and so when I come back towards the end of the month or a little bit after, then I'll have room here to document. So this is the TWSBI Diamond 580. I like extra fine nibs generally, but in this particular pen, the fine does me great. I don't mind it at all. This is the Diamond 580, and this is the silver trim with a fine nib. Pilot Iroshizuku, that is such a great line of inks. I only wish they would come out with more colors. But yeah, so this is such a workhorse pen. I have it inked a lot. Sometimes I have pens inked that are not in my currently inked. Because to me, these are inks that I want to, or pen and ink combinations that I want to explore. I keep doing the air quotes. But I definitely have other pens inked. But this is one that I have not had this ink in before. I just want to see how it would do. I'm very confident that it's going to be fine because, I mean, it's an Iroshizuku ink. So, yeah, that's the first one. Next is my Bone Crusher 7 Studio. This is in Periwinkle Agate, or Agate. I can't remember exactly how to pronounce that. Not exactly the colorway that I normally would go for in a pen, but this blue mixed with the brown I thought was just lovely. And I have it inked with yet another Iroshizuku ink, and this is Tsukio. And And if you know me, I'm not the biggest blue person, so I'm kind of shocked that I even chose this color. But I wanted to use the pen, and I first tried this color when I was at a pen show, and in writing it was such a lovely rich tone of blue that I had to go ahead and grab a bottle of it. Oh, and this has an extra fine Yovo nib. Periwinkle. Is it agate or agate? Where is the emphasis on that word? Agate, I believe. It writes really smooth, and this is one of my favorite pen brands because it's like the perfect size, and this grip section is just fire. It is big enough that, I mean, look, all this space here before the body of the pen, and the threads are practically flat, like you don't feel them at all. Sukiyo. So I felt like this was such a nice pairing. The blue here, and to me, yeah, that is kind of stepping outside of my norm, but it's okay. And I thought it would just look really good together. Next is one of my latest acquisitions. This is the Lamy 2000. It has an extra fine nib, but this is in the black amber finish. And I was really excited to get my hands on this particular model. It was a limited edition, and I have it inked with Sailor Kitsune Biori, and I am so glad I chose this color. It writes perfectly thus far. I'm not almost done with the bottle, but I've used quite a bit of it. This is one of those chameleon type colors. Where is it pink? Is it brown? I don't know. This is not a pen that I post. Number one, it has way more weight than the regular Lamy 2000. But it's very comfortable not being posted either. Black amber. And this extra fine nib on the Lamy really writes like an architect. I think I've just definitely fallen in love with this nib. So, wow, look at that. I didn't think it was matchy, but I mean, that's just so nice. And initial thoughts so far, I am really digging the pen. I'm so glad I took the time to keep searching for it, and I finally found it, because these are a little hard to come by. When you do, they can be a little pricey, but if you just keep looking, you can eventually find one. I believe that is within your price range. Next is my Visconti Homo Sapien in Bronze Age. This has an extra fine nib, and I just had this inked back in May, but it's such a good writing experience that I just want to try it with a different type of ink. The nib is just great, and I decided to ink this one with Ferris Wheel Press Writing Desk. And this has such a narrow opening. They're beautiful bottles, but the opening, oh my goodness, it just irritates me. Let's see. There we go. writing disc, I can see just a little bit of the like a golden background, which makes it, it's a deep brown, yes. However, let me go ahead and put the top on this because this bottle will definitely tip over easily. What was I saying? Oh yeah, it is definitely a deep, it's not a muddy brown by any means. It kind of looks like it in the swatch here, just a little bit, but it's, when you write with it, it's not, it's a golden undertone, but it's a deep brown. And the writing sample, it's just, if you like a deep, rich brown, it's just perfect. This is, wow, such, I'm so glad I purchased this pen. It was pre-loved, pre-owned, barely used. And this nib, it's juicy, but it's not like overly juicy. Like my Pelicans have just, like, to me, overly juicy nibs that I just have to get ground to a different size. But this one is juicy, but it's not, it's just perfect. It is perfect. Ferris wheel press. Now, one reason why I wanted to explore this pen ink combination is because it does have a juicier nib, but Ferris wheel press can tend to be fairly dry. This particular ink, not as much as usual, but I just want to see how it would do. Yeah. And let me see if you can see here. Can you see the shading where it goes from light to dark? And I'm not sure if you can tell, but in the swatch, there's like the lighter brown undertones, and it has just a little bit of a deep green sheen. Not sure if you can see that. Maybe once it dries, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. And I will try to remember to show you that. But there's the Bronze Age with Ferris wheel press writing desk. Next is my special edition. Is this a special edition? I'm not sure. But it is the Leonardo Momento Zero, and this is in the golden abalone. And I love this colorway. Just love it. It has pink gold trim. This is in an extra fine nib, and I have it inked currently with Colorverse Wancho. I didn't think I was going to really enjoy this particular ink, the color, but it's like a mix between almost a, I don't know, pale gray, greenish gray. It's a very distinct color, and I think that's something that I'm drawn to, or sort of like the Kitsune Biore, you know. I love when a color is very distinct, and it's kind of hard to put it in a bucket, you know. But and I kind of think I like the size of the regular Leonardo's as opposed to the Grande. I have a Grande, and I mean, it writes fine, but if I have to choose, this one just fits my hand perfectly. Momento Zero. I guess you can tell it's kind of hard for me to write and talk at the same time. I'm amazed at people that can do that. And this is in an extra fine nib as well. And this is spelled H-W-A-N-G. So I think the H is silent. Not exactly sure. But so far, I'm having a great experience with this combination so far, and we will continue to see. But as you can tell, when I first put this ink down in the swatch, it had very much of a green tinge to it. Not so much as it dries, it starts leaning more on the grayish side. But when compared to the actual blank, and this is a Jonathan Brooks blank, I believe, it's like sometimes you can see like a greenish gray swirl in there. So I thought it was a perfect match. I loved it. Lastly, I have one ink, two pens. So that's why when I said kind of six, I have two pens. They're fairly small. I have my Pelikan M400. It has an extra fine nib. And I also have my Parker Parquet. This is a vintage pen and it doesn't have the nib size written on it. I purchased it at a pen show. It's just a blank nib. It doesn't say anything. And it really writes like a medium, a juicy medium in my opinion. And I have them both inked with a Color First Brain. And I kind of wanted to see, especially since I've not really used this pen much, I wanted to just see how the ink would fare, how the writing experience would be in the two different inks. So one swatch, two pens. Lovely green with the yellow undertone. And we're going to go ahead. Let's start with the Parker. This is a fairly small pen, so I will post this one. Parker Parquet. And I'm going to put, I guess I'm just going to call it green marble, because that's kind of what it looks like. And I think this is a medium. It really writes like a medium, like a juicy medium on the way to being a broad. Not exactly sure. So that's that one. And it is also inked in my Pelikan. And this Pelikan has a, this is a needlepoint that was ground by Kirk Spear. This is in the white tortoise model or colorway. And it is needle. This is I have two needle points. Actually, both my Pelikans are needle points now. Not when I say both, meaning this one and my my brown black and that's the M800. They both have the needle point, but I really wanted to have the same ink in two because I wanted to see how the ink would look and fare with the different consistencies, being it so fine and so thick. The thick one, the broader nib, definitely outside of my wheelhouse, not what I'm necessarily used to, but I mean, that's the fun part of the exploration of pens and inks. And that is all of them. I did want to do a quick close-up of the swatches, simply because here I wanted to be able to see if you can notice the Yamabudo it's like this fuchsia color with, can you see the sheen? It's like a brownish gold sheen around the edges. This Pilot Iroshizuku, the Tsukio is a blue with like a reddish sheen. Of course, the Sailor Kitsune Biore is just in a league all of its own. Ferris Wheel Press has green sheen. The Wangcho just is like, okay, is it grayish green? Is it, I'm not sure what you call that color. And then the, I didn't even put the color down. Why didn't you guys tell me I didn't put the color down? Come on now. Y'all are failing me seriously. Glad I saw that. Colorverse Brain. Did I even say it? I don't know. It's fairly early here, so forgive me. But here is Brain. It's really flat looking at the moment. It's dry. I don't see a lot of shading, but it could be because one is so thick and one is so thin as far as line width. But we'll see. We'll see how the month goes. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please feel free to leave them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys the next time. Bye.